Here's a drill that works on checking for poaches as the thrower. Sometimes if your offense is getting too predictable, you may have poachers to try to disrupt your flow if they feel like they know what's happening. Or if there's a stop disc and you have the disc and you see someone coming in from the back of the stack and they're open, chances are somebody else also sees that they're open. So we have to be aware about checking for poaches whenever we throw. So there's 3 points in the throw I want to talk about. The first is the pre-draw, the second is the draw, and the third is the release. What we don't want to do is we don't want to see someone who's open and then go through all 3 stages with our eyes locked on that person. What ideally we want to be able to do as advanced throwers is see an open person, draw, check somewhere else to see if there's a poach, and then if all is clear, then release. And we might even be able to release while our eyes are somewhere in between the poachers and the intended target as an even more advanced way to do it. The key here is that when you have your motor program for throwing, we're going to interrupt that motor program in order to get visual input on something else, and you're going to use that to make a decision on whether to continue the motor program. So it's a more advanced skill. If we don't know how to disassociate the throwing between draw, pause, and release, then we're going to have trouble, because this whole thing takes a second, and it only takes 1 second for someone to come in through the stack and to get a poach. So it's very important that we disassociate the draw, the checking, and the throwing. So there's a drill that I have, and it's called the checking for poaches drill. What happens is the receiver holds up one hand to be thrown at, and in the other hand, they show a number. They show either 1 or they show 2. 1 means throw it, 2 means don't throw it. So after you get good at this a few times, we can make it so that the number changes between 1 and 2, and you just have to be aware about what number it is. The thrower prepares the throw in their draw position, and they're not going to release until they see the number 1. So what it's intending to do is you have a throwing program in your head. We're having a visual where you have to check somewhere else and disrupts the throwing program in your head in order for you to get used to checking for poaches. We're trying to disrupt your normal throw in order to make the right decision.